friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and this is my March reading wrap up. So in the month of March, I read a total of 14 books and I DNF'd another, so that is fantastic. I don't know if I'm just starting to read more, like make more time for reading, or if I'm reading faster, therefore reading more books. I don't know, but I'm just gonna go with it. So because there are so many books, I'm gonna give like a brief overview of each one of them so that this video is not forever long. So let's just get into the books. The first book I picked up is Marlena. This is by Julie Bunton. This is one of my TBR Pursuit picks. I gave it 1 star. I did not enjoy this book. I did not enjoy the writing. It was very descriptive and flowery, and that is not my thing. I felt like there wasn't really a plot. There are some trigger warnings for this, so just be careful. There are drug use, drug paraphernalia, talks of suicide, sexual assault. I don't know what else, but there's some trigger warnings, so make sure that you look for those. This follows 2 girls, one named Kat, the other named Marlena. Kat moves to northern Michigan with her mother and brother, and she quickly becomes friends with a girl next door named Marlena. And Kat, who's this like buttoned up, like goes to prep school, you know, has her life together, meets Marlena, and then just starts doing all of these bad things, drinking and smoking and skipping class and doing drugs and all of this stuff. You know, you find out very early on that Marlena like passes away. So the whole story, you're trying to figure out like, oh, okay, she died. Like there's gotta be like some mystery element, right? Like we're trying to figure out how she died, or you know, because you're getting like 2 scenarios. You're getting like Kat from the past as a 15-year-old girl, and then you're getting Kat from the future. So you're trying to figure out like, okay. And I waited the entire book to find out what I was supposed to discover, and there was nothing. It just, horrible book, 1 star. The next thing I picked up is The 4 Winds by Kristen Hanna. This is one of my 5-star predictions for the year, and I gave it 4 stars. So it wasn't quite a 5-star read, but this follows a woman named Elsa who meets a boy named Rafe, gets pregnant, gets kicked out of her family home, has to move on to the farm with him, and their life kind of takes off from there. In the middle of this, the Great Depression happens, the Dust Bowl happens, it affects their crops, their way of life, and then they have to make this decision of whether they stay in Texas and try to make it through the Dust Bowl, or they move to California where everyone else is going for promise of a better life. This book was fantastic. It had me tearing up at times, it had me angry at times. I was just feeling all of the emotions. It had me on the edge of my seat. I really, really, really enjoyed this. It just wasn't quite a 5-star read for me. Next, I picked up Honey Girl. This is by Morgan Rogers. This was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to read more from this author. I will tell you, trigger warnings for self-harm and for, there's a lot of talk about mental health, anxiety, personality disorder, I don't know what else, but definite trigger warnings for self-harm. This book is so good. It follows a woman named Grace who has just graduated with her doctorate in astronomy, and that's not what her father wanted from her. Her father wanted her to be a medical doctor. She decided she didn't want to be a medical doctor. Her father is a colonel in the army, and you know, Grace thinks that she always has, everything always has to be planned out and perfect. She has to give 100% of the time, and you know, she's just trying to figure out where she fits in now, like where she goes after she graduated, like what does she want out of her life? Does she need to continue to follow this rigid structure that her father has set out for her, or is she able to like pull away from that a little bit? The story starts out because Grace takes a trip to Vegas. She wakes up with a wedding ring on and a note from her wife who she doesn't remember, and she sets out on this journey of like self-empowerment and to find her wife and see why they got married and who she is, and you know, if there's something there for them. And I don't know, it's just really, really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. Next, I picked up Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. It's a reread for me. I don't own the first book, but I own the 2nd through the 5th. I don't know why. I just never bought the first one. I love this book. It's the first book in the Wayward Children series. This is about a group of children who find doors. They end up in these like portal worlds, and then something happens, they get kicked out, and they end up at this school for wayward children. And it's great. I love it. There is all sorts of representation in these novels. Really, really good. Highly recommend that series if you're into portal fantasies. And they're short, you know, they're like novellas, so they're quick to get through. After that, I picked up Down Among the Sticks and Bones, also by Shauna McGuire. This is book 2 in the Wayward Children series. I also gave this one 5 stars. This follows Jack and Jill from the previous novel. I'm not going to go into it, but I just love the series. After that, I picked up Beneath the Sugar Sky. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. This is the 3rd book in the Wayward Children series. I didn't love this one as much. One of the characters in here, she kind of frustrated me a little bit, and I just didn't enjoy it as much. I got lost in the writing. So we'll see what happens in the next book, but still liked it, just not as much as the first 2. After that, I picked up Hero of Ages. This is by Brandon Sanderson. It's the 3rd book in the Mistborn trilogy. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It made me cry. I shed literal tears for this one. So I'm not going to tell you what this one is about, but the first book is set in this world where there's like this ruler who's not a good guy. He's a bad guy. The magic system in this world is made of metals, so the people are called allomancers. They can ingest metals, and then they have different powers based on what they do. If you're a Mistborn, then you can ingest all the metals and you have all of the powers. Mistborns are few and far between. There is our main character in the first book, Kelsier. He is put together a band of misfits, really, to try to overthrow the Lord Ruler, and then the book kind of takes off from there. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. I'm not like a huge epic fantasy reader. I really don't pick up many epic fantasies. They really intimidate me, but this book, their series, is fantastic. Then I picked up The Empress of Salt and Fortune. This is by Nahi Vo. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I quite enjoyed this one. It is short. It's a little novella. This is about a cleric who goes and sees a woman named Rabbit, who was the like handmaiden, or she made the clothes for the exiled empress, and so she's kind of telling her story through these objects that the cleric is finding in her home. I loved it. It was a fantastic story. I wish it would have been like a longer book because I could have read about it forever. It was really, really good. 4 out of 5 stars. And then I picked up The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. This is a collection of poetry, and I DNF'd it about 150 pages in. I just felt like it was very disjointed. You know, I did like some of the things that I read, but overall I was just forcing myself to read it. I wasn't enjoying it, so I did DNF it. I picked that up for one of the prompts for the 48-hour book-athon, and I didn't want to force myself, so I just put it down. And I have no plans of picking that one up. And then I picked up Fence Volume 1. This is by C.S. Pacat, I think. This is a graphic novel series about this boys fencing team. You know, I just read the first volume. It was fun. I liked it. I probably will pick up more in the future. I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I picked up The Lifeboat by Charlotte Rogan. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. This follows a woman named Grace who was on her honeymoon in London with her husband when they had to jump on a ship and hurry home to America. On their way back to America, the ship sinks. Grace ends up on a lifeboat. Her husband does not, so they're just trying to survive. You find out in the very beginning of the novel, though, that Grace is on trial for murder, and you're just trying to figure out how the heck did she get there. Like, she was on a lifeboat fighting for her life, literally, and then she's on trial for murder. Also fighting for her life. I liked the story enough. Like, the writing was okay, but it just felt like there was no point. There was not really a plot. We went through this whole thing, we find out why, and then the story just kind of ends, and it's like, okay, but why though? What was the point of that? Like, I don't understand. There was no takeaway from that. It just didn't work. I mean, I'm surprised it got 3 stars, to be honest. I'd like to see, I mean, the atmosphere was high on this. I probably gave the writing, I gave the writing 7 out of 10. It probably should have been a 6. I was quite intrigued. So the intrigue was high too. I gave that an 8. So I was probably a little generous on a couple of these ratings. So really it's probably, let's see, if I change this. So even if I do change those things, it's still a 3-star read. So it's just on the lower end of 3 stars. I believe This author has other works. This might have been her debut, but I don't think I will pick anything up in the future. I do thank Laura though for sending it to me. I can see why she thought that I would enjoy this. I think she also gave it 3 stars, so it was okay. It just wasn't great. After that, I read Saga Volume 2. This is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I loved it. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I love this series. I definitely want to get the rest of the series. I only have this compendium, which is the first 3 volumes, and then I need to get the other 6 because there's 9 total. I did look it up, and Brian K. Vaughan is currently working on new issues of the comic, so hopefully there'll be another volume soon, and I think the 10th volume will be the final volume. I believe that's what I read, so we'll see. But 5 out of 5 stars for volume 2. The next book I read was Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I finally read this. Now I've read all of Riley Sager's novels. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I did quite enjoy it, but it wasn't my favorite. So I talked about this in my vlog, but if I had to rank his novels, Final Girls would be at the top, and then Home Before Dark, Lock Every Door, and The Last Time I Lied would be at the bottom. That one I didn't like as much. Like, that's probably my least favorite. I think I gave it 3 stars. So I still enjoy all of his books, but this was middle of the road for me. It was good. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I read it, I think, in like a day and a half. So, you know, it was good. Final Girls is better in my opinion. Alright, and then the final book that I read in the month of March was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is book 2 in the Throne of Glass series. I am reading this this year. I've only read up to book 4, so my goal is to finish the entire series by the end of the year. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. It is a reread for me. You know, I don't know what to say about it other than this is a really good book in the series. It's probably one of my favorites. I really enjoyed Throne of Glass, but now that I'm rereading them again for the 3rd time, this one so far has been my favorite. Heir of Fire has historically been my least favorite, but I'm really excited to like pick it up. So I may enjoy that one a little bit more than I did before. So we'll see. 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. Still going to continue on with the series. So that's it. If you guys made it this far, leave me like a sword emoji or something, because I just held up Crown of Midnight. Leave me a sword emoji. If you can't do that, just leave me a smiley face so then I know you were here and you enjoyed what you watched. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.